Hi there, I'm Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make Costa Mesa such a great place to live. Today I have Tatsu with Tokyo Automotive Repair right here in Costa Mesa. Tatsu, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited about this.
So, you do automotive repair. Can you tell us a little bit more about your business?
Okay, so my father started the shop in 1978, way back when in Buena Park. And him and his partner started the shop. And everybody just about in the neighborhood lost their mind when they found out a Japanese guy is working on their Japanese car. Obviously, the bar for working on cars and the requiem for working on Japanese cars isn't necessarily being Japanese anymore. But I mean, that was kind of our first big start. Was at that shop in back then. I basically grew up sweeping the floors at that shop, and as things started to expand more and more eastward in Orange County, the orange groves and whatnot. I remember driving to Orange, and Dad started to want his own shop and said to the partner, I want my own shop. We're going to go east. And we started a place in Placentia. And then somewhere around my high school years, we moved everything over there, and then fast forward a lot more years, and I opened up my own shop here in Costa Mesa in March of 22.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what brought you to Costa Mesa?
Initially in college, I was down here working at a luggage store, but I mean, Costa Mesa for like us Japanese people is huge in terms of like the amount of Japanese food. Um, it kind of always drew me to be here business wise. Working at the luggage store, I noticed that I can just go to the Japanese supermarket and grab a bunch of stuff for lunch, and that was kind of the appeal of coming down here and being kind of close to my roots as well. So
I really like that you touched upon that because I don't know that so many people think about like the multicultural and diversity of Costa Mesa, and just even touching upon like that there are a lot of Japanese food outlets and places that people can come to, and how that was a draw for you from like the inland area where I'm sure there's also those options, but I think that that's something that does give Costa Mesa like its own little spot on the map.
oh yeah, for sure.
So you grew up in the car repair industry. I mean, basically, you were living and breathing it and working in it as a child.
Yeah.
Um, what continues to keep you passionate about doing it now?
I love the cars themselves, but as you get older, your interests kind of change and shift, right? I used to be the kid that had the speed hungry, lead foot, and I'll be honest, I used to do a lot of the street racing and stuff like that when I was younger, and that morphed into going to the track and doing more legitimate forms of motorsport and stuff like that, but now that I'm 40 something, yeah, the car still excites me, but more so growing the business, you know, being kind of the alternative to the dealership. That's kind of morphed over the years, right? So, yeah.
I think that also brings up a really good point. So, what about your business kind of sets it apart from going to the dealership or going to another auto repair shop? Like, why should people come to you?
Okay, so like first off, 3 year, 36,000 mile warranty. That alone is 2 years longer than most places. Fully digital inspections, and I'm not even sure that most people know what a digital inspection on their car is, or how well it can be utilized. I mean, it's already a minority of people that use the digital platform. To go beyond that is to utilize it well. And for those that don't know what a digital inspection is when you go to the shop and you have an oil service done to your car, you get photo rich document live, real time when the technician's working on your car. So instead of having that awkward conversation, like Jedi mind trick of a conversation where you're being told, "Hey, your air and cabin filters are dirty and your transmission fluid's dirty," right? And you just kind of have to believe them. I mean, I know my pretty face is like really like you can you see it and you can trust it, and you automatically fall in love with what I'm saying. But to add to that fact that I'm now showing you through a digital platform which I text you and say, hey, check in occasionally, and my technician will be putting photos up, and you can see that they're showing you, oh yeah, your air and cap filters indeed are dirty, and in fact your transmission fluid is rather dark. Now that adds a level of trustworthiness to the shop, right? So I would probably put us at the 20 percentile. I mean, 1 out of 5 shops are using digital, and it really just sets us apart.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously with technology being what it is, a lot of businesses, even ones that never really had that big of a use for technology, are kind of jumping on the train. Sounds like less so in your industry, obviously, but what got you to go there? Like, why was that important to you? How did you kind of foresee that this would be a good path for your business?
I mean, there was a time and place. I had another podcast that I was talking to industry people, and they're like, "Oh, well, what's the next thing that you want to do to your business?" Well, I don't, and I was like, "I don't need to do digital inspections. People already trust me, right?" But as the clientele started to shift towards a better clientele, I totally saw the need to do it, and I was using a really old, antiquated digital platform where the photos got emailed one way, and the invoice got emailed another way, and they're looking at the invoice and they're like, "Well, I don't see the photos," right? Like, and as soon as I saw our shopware, our software is called Shopware. It's a lady out of San Francisco. She developed the software for all the shops a lot of the shops out there, and then we saw that and how seamless it was, and just like, well, invoice and photos on one cell phone, and it's so much easier and seamless. So I mean, I'm dealing with a much more sophisticated customer now, and that I'm matching that with their needs, right? So, and then the fact is that like if you're recommending stuff now you're kind of, your butt is on the line now. Like you can't have the customer come in and sign for everything. It's easier for them to just sign on their phone and say, hey, I got your approval, let's go forward with it. You know what I mean? And so from a covering your butt standpoint, it also makes sense too, because you got not only the signature and you also got the photos to back it up. So
yeah, and the convenience, I'm sure that just helps to speed up the whole process. People are
yeah,
just able to sign and say, go ahead and do the work, rather than you having to wait for them to come in and verify or whatnot. So
exactly, for
yeah,
sure.
so that's good progress for the industry.
Yeah.
And so obviously Tokyo Automotive Repair, you're only working on certain types of cars.
Well,
Or am I wrong in that?
actually,
Yeah, help me
yeah,
understand.
yeah, let me. When I took over this shop, I took over an all makes, all model shop. So, although I'm not actively pursuing European domestic cars, I am. This place is huge. I can take on a lot more customers than I currently have. I'm not in a position to say no, and then my technicians are happy to work on anything over here at this particular location. So for the Costa Mesa shop, I'm working on pretty much everything. Even some of the shops around us that utilize us, use us, they bring over exotic cars as well. So I from beaters to Bentleys, I'm working on them. So
Well, I'm glad I asked. I guess,
yeah,
yeah, I didn't know that. So I bet if I didn't know, there are some people that don't know. So good to get the word out there.
yeah.
Yeah, and so this might be in the past when people are hearing this episode, but I know you are doing a community event of sorts. And can you share a little bit about it, or like in general, like the types of events that you are like part of or plan to be part of in the future? Because I really like the one that you posted about. And
Okay, so like tomorrow I have something called Rigs and Ramen,
uh-huh.
right? This is typically a very slow time of year for a lot of other industries that aren't like retail. While everybody's going to the mall, we're sitting here. Okay, well, what are we going to do now? They're at the mall spending the money. They're not spending the money on the cars. So I came up with this idea that okay, well, let's showcase a toy drive. Let's showcase the car that is kind of really hot right now is the kind of the overland crowd, is the people who have the Jeeps, the GX 470 4Runner, Xterra, that kind of like outdoorsy type person, right? And so those customers have been really good to us. So I was like, well, I've been wanting to do kind of a get together. Let's do a Rigs and Ramen. And so that also showcases Kashiwa Ramen across the street. We're bringing on Lot 318, which is is a nonprofit that helps out underprivileged kids up in Placentia near my other shop. And so it's just like, well, let's get all these people together and showcase small business, and also help out the underprivileged youth. So
I love that. I love that you're doing that. I think it's a nice promotion for you guys to have additional exposure in the community, but also in a way that is helping and giving back, at this time of year. So I hope you continue to do those into the new year. I mean, depending on how busy it is, of course.
yeah, of course, yeah. So
is there anything else about like your shop that you want to showcase or let people know about? I know we talked a little bit about why you're here, why you picked Costa Mesa. Even anything you just want to share about Costa Mesa in general, about what you like about the lifestyle here?
I really like how laid back this place is. I mean, I guess it isn't and it isn't. I mean, there's a lot of hustle and bustle, but I mean, there is kind of that surfer vibe of this town that I love. Although I don't surf myself very much at all, but yeah, I'm much more of a mountain biker. So
So you grew up in Placentia? Is that what you said? Kind of in that
I
area?
grew up in the El Medina area.
Okay.
So Chapman and 55, and
Yeah.
I live up in Yorba Linda, but I commute in every day. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, and I think it's interesting too, just from a real estate perspective. I've had clients that have moved out of Costa Mesa and they've moved inland. I've had clients that have moved right to the area where you grew up. And it's crazy how big of a difference like 10 miles can make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you probably experienced that.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I wanted to do by getting a shop in Costa Mesa was I didn't want to get anything in the middle. I didn't want to cannibalize on the customers that I might have up in Placentia. So I wanted a manageable distance away where I could still get customers. And I have friends from childhood that live around the area too. So I've been getting those people as customers as well. So yeah.
Well, and I want to give you a shout out too. I mean, I had a question that had nothing to do with automotive repair necessarily, not like engine work, but just you were so helpful as far as body work and all of that. You just were happy to give a referral. So, you're connected.
Yeah, but that's not like it is selfish to a certain extent because I'm always putting on the bottom, hey, tell them Tatsu sent you, so I can remind people that I'm there. But like, I overall just love being helpful, right? That's kind of the way that shop owners like me kind of operate. I network with a ton of shop owners, and we operate in that way. I mean, I used to be small-minded and be the shop owner that's like, well, this is the way that we do things, so we're not going to tell anybody how we do our things. No. But like, if you really think about it, if we're all in the damn same business. I mean, if we help each other and the other shop becomes better and we become better and we kind of egg each other on and help each other out. I mean, a lot of shop owners come from like a kind of a humbler beginning, and they're fight or flight kind of feeling. And as we become a better as an industry, I think it's better to keep the other people accountable and say, hey, well, Bob screwed up on a car, right? And they come to me and the customer's like, yeah, Bob screwed up on a car. Well, shoot, let me call Bob. Let me get this straight. He should do right by you, right?
Yeah.
And so like if you have a good relationship with your so-called friendly competitors, they're more likely to hold your feet to the fire too, and we all do better as an industry. So yeah, that's my philosophy. Help each other out.
Well, I think it also goes back to what you were saying before about having the digital inspections. That isn't something that you had prior to a certain point, right? But like
Yeah.
saw that there was a need and that it would elevate your business and elevate the experience for your customers. So you took that leap and you were able to grow from that. So it makes a lot of sense. Yes, what goes around comes around. Be a good person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, Tatsu, thank you so much for the interview. Great to know that you basically can cover it all. So if anybody has any automotive needs, Tatsu is definitely a great contact to have locally, and he can help you even if you have friends or family that have cars inland. He's got other shops.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks for being part of the podcast, and I will make sure to link all of your information so people know where to find you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.